Hi, welcome to another video in my SCARFS series. We're up to R, which is the fourth in the six most common problems for sentence structure, according to me, and that is R for relative clauses. There's an earlier video that defines what relative clauses are and gives you the sort of basics, but I just wanted to look at a couple more examples and give you some strategies that you might be able to use to help somebody who's having problems with relative clauses. So the first and most obvious one is just some simple practice. Give the person simple sentences and get them to apply the rules about identifying the antecedent, the thing that the relative clause is referring to. First of all, working out what the relative clause is, and then working out whether it's defining or non-defining and applying the appropriate rule. Okay, so here's a very simple example. My cat, which is brown, hates dogs. Okay, so in this case, the fact that the cat is brown is not essential to understanding the sentence. What we're really saying is, my cat hates dogs. The fact that it is brown is additional information. Okay, so it is a non-defining relative clause. This is the relative clause. It's non-defining. So when it's non-defining, we use which and we use commas. My cat, which is brown, hates dogs. That is now correct. Okay, another really good way to get people to start thinking about how important context is when determining whether we're using a defining or non-defining clause is to ask them to match some sentences and scenarios. I'll give you an example here. So we've got scenario one, scenario two. Scenario one is you need to cross a busy street. It happens to be the main road into town, but you're not going to town. You're just trying to get across the road to the 7-Eleven to grab a Slurpee. Okay, the second scenario is you're looking at two roads. One of them is leading into town and it's very busy with traffic. The other one is heading out to the country and it only has light traffic. Okay, here are our two sentences. The road that leads into town is very busy with traffic. The road which leads into town is very busy with traffic. This one with the which and the commas is a non-defining clause. So that's when this is additional information that is not vital to the meaning of the sentence. Okay, so scenario one, if you remember, is where, yes, it's the main road going into town, but what matters is we're trying to get across it and it's busy because we just want to get to the 7-Eleven. So the fact that it leads into town is not essential. Okay, so this is the sort of relative clause we're looking for up here. So these would match. The road, which leads into town, is very busy with traffic. Okay, this second one, the road that leads into town is very busy with traffic. There's no commas and there's the relative pronoun that. So this is a defining relative clause. It is defining what road we're talking about. In scenario two, if you recall, there were two roads. One was going out in the country with not much traffic. The other was going into town and was busy with lots of traffic. So we are defining which road we're talking about. The road that leads into town is very busy with traffic. So these match up here. Now a few simple sentences like that for students or for yourself to match can help you to get a handle on relative clauses. Okay, the last thing I want to say about relative clauses, I promise it's the last thing, is just to reiterate how important it is that you're able to trace back the relative clause to what it is that it's giving more additional information about. Sometimes relative clauses are called adjective clauses because they give more information about a noun, but we need to know which one it's relating back to. And sometimes the confusion can come because that's not clear. So we haven't got a grammatical error, but we've got muddied meaning. Let me show you an example. I finished my homework on the bus trip home, which took a long time. Now the question is, what took a long time? That's our relative clause, which took a long time. But we've got two nouns. We've got homework and we've got the bus trip home. Which one took a long time? Was it a long bus trip or did the homework take a long time? If what we're trying to say is my homework took a long time and I finished it on the bus trip home, then we just need to rearrange to clarify that. So what we want to do is bring the relative clause closer to the noun to which it is referring back, to the antecedent. So something like, I finished my homework, which took a long time, on the bus trip home. Bus trip home. Okay, so we've got the 2 commas and the use of the word which, because it's additional information. I finished my homework on the bus trip home. My homework took a long time. And that way, the link between the relative clause and its antecedent, in this case the homework, is clear because we've put them next to each other, clearing up that ambiguity. Okay, thank you.